Okay, we're still basking in the warm glow of Seahawk victory, Bob.
It's a good one. It's the beginning of the streak we predicted.
Well, it is, and we can talk a little bit about the defense. Maybe we'll do that later on. But offensively is what I want to talk about. The streak is starting with the offense playing better, and I think one of the big questions that you got to have as well is this a fluke? Is this something that, well, it was because you're against the worst defense in the league, or you had a bunch of injuries or anything like that, or is this actually, what a phrase I used I think on the show on Monday was sustainable? And everything I'm seeing tells me that this offense is not doing anything out of the ordinary, and we probably should kind of expect this sort of production.
Well, and I think that's what makes you feel better about it is there aren't a bunch of trick plays, there aren't these wild out of nowhere performances from people you never expect. And you jokingly brought up, Michael Robinson, who we spoke to today on the show. You can check out the podcast. He runs for 150 yards. I mean,
right,
just
something that'll never happen again.
Yeah, something you're looking at going, okay, you can't expect this every week. But what you can expect is what we've seen. Now, maybe Russell doesn't throw for 3 touchdowns every game like he did. They're very efficient in the red zone. They took advantage of their field position. He doesn't throw for a ton of yards, threw 24 times yesterday. They ran it 45 times. So that's sustainable. Mm-hmm. It's not electric. It's not gaudy. It's not, but it is something they can do methodically and do week in, week out. And that's little short passes. They weren't throwing the ball deep down the field.
Not even once.
So I think by virtue of its I don't want to say vanilla, it's conservative nature. How about that? By virtue of that, it is something that's sustainable.
Well, and I think the word winds up being efficient. I mean, if they're just efficient with what they're doing, which also means not turning the ball over, not getting plagued with penalties, which are things that didn't happen in that game. I mean, you're talking about 30 points put on the board entirely by the offense. I mean, defense didn't score any points. You're talking about first 4 times in the red zone getting touchdowns. Field goal at the end of the game, which was all you needed to kind of cover yourself and make sure you had a 2-score lead, being there. With Russell Wilson, as you pointed out, throwing for 24 times. Not throwing for 400 yards, throwing for 198 yards in that game. You say, well, Marshawn Lynch can't keep running like that, except he can.
And he has.
Right, he has been doing it. So, offensive line, I thought, we talked about this on the show, overcame the late injury, which it was. John Moffitt's first game at left guard, for that matter, and were seamless. So, I didn't see anything that doesn't make me think the Seahawks can't. Now, look, I'm not going to say they're going to score 30 points every week, but between 20 and 30 and a productive offense, I think that's what we get from now on.
And hopefully, and we talked about this as well, they're going to be tested coming up. As much as the home schedule is favorable, you've still got a game against the 49ers, you've got a game against the Cardinals, you've got a game against the Bears and the Miami Dolphins. And the one thing all those teams have in common?
Defense. But so far, with the new offensive Seahawks, so good.
Now you're Joe Offense.